Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Or good afternoon, I should say. It's starting a little early today. Got some fun things to go over today. A little bit of the meat and potatoes of the issue, as you will. But first, I don't want to spend too much time in this because the goons, such as Senpai's home that are over around Rekieta, want me to move the focus away from Nick and his behind-the-scenes antics. But at the same time, I don't think you guys understand that I knew that what I was getting into. These guys think they're real slick and they bamboozle me. It's not quite the case, and I got some proof to show that. Let me show you this clip here, this little video recording, and I want you to pay attention to the attitude that Senpai displays here. But before I do that, I want to make it clear that he's here. Here he is. Last night. As you can see, this is the stream that I did last night. It was a bit of a trash fire, admittedly, but what can you do? He's right here saying, there was no agreement. And elsewhere in the stream, he said, what does any of this matter? I didn't agree to any terms. And other shit like that. Like outright lying his ass off. So I have no problem playing this next thing I'm about to reveal. Let's just go here. Hello?
Yeah. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Look, I don't want to do the colon things because there's a bunch of people out there who are trying to spread my doxing information around and also just poison the well and just spread lies about me. It's not just
okay.
There's a bunch of other people doing it too. So
we can start the stream. That's actually kind of some of the things I wanted to talk about. Just for the record,
sure.
I'm not biased towards Nick Rekieta or the others. That's why I kind of want to do this too. So, yeah, I mean, you know what I mean? That's all.
Okay.
But if you don't want to do the Collins, that's fine. It's whatever. I just wanted to do the Collins in case you go ahead and, I don't know, have at it with other people. Like that other day, I saw one of your streams. You were asking if Spectre wanted to come on, and Spectre didn't want to come on, whatever. And I know you had Keck on one time, and you talked to Keck. So I wanted to know if you wanted to do that shit, if they were to come or to show up or anybody.
No, I just don't want to do it for the show.
I think it would have been pretty interesting, just because I highly, highly doubt there's anybody that can even formulate a decent argument. Aside from a select few. So I just figured, hey, it's not even that big a deal because, I don't know, the bar isn't set too high.
Maybe for a future stream, but not this one. Which also, there's another reason why I wanted to talk to you first. What topics will we be going over specifically?
I'm figuring, well, it's not exactly a formula to this. It's just kind of more like shooting the shit, and then from wherever we go from there, we'll just go into one topic, and then we'll try to keep it going until, we eventually get tired. And then we'll wrap it up. It usually goes, depending on how it goes, probably an hour to an hour and 40, something like that. And I don't know. I figure you have a lot to say because of pretty much everything. So I feel like it made for a decently entertaining show. Again, I'm not mad. I mean, not mad. Well, I'm not... I'm not sweating having people saying oh, you have them on to get a quest. It doesn't matter if you say anything negative you want about whoever. I mean, I'm not, again, like I said.
Okay, I think you get the gist of it. I'm gonna play the whole thing, but first I just want to focus on this. This guy says there's no terms. What is this here? Where he's agreeing that, oh yeah, there be no gets. No, I'm not going to put you on the spot and take the guy who has an axe to grind with you and wants you ruined off the internet and try to pressure him to go on. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to let my mods jump in the call or anything like that. I'll let you be the judge. You can just listen to his attitude about how slimy this guy is, about how he's being nice to me, and then he does this two-faced bullshit afterwards where he's just blatantly lying about everything. So yeah, this is what happens when you go ahead and attack an E-Celeb. You get these minor players who want to protect the Tardon, who will befriend you, who will go ahead and say all these things that and butter up to you and try to bamboozle you with this dumb shit. Because the truth is, they don't have anything. They don't aspire to be anything except to be a minor player who laps up whatever the latches onto an e-celeb and sucks off of them for sustenance because they can't produce any content themselves and they're not very good at it. In fact, there's some other parts of this. You know what? Actually, what I'll do is I'm going to stop it here because, again, this isn't really about Senpai. Because the whole goal of this, the whole purpose of guys like Senpai is Home, guys like Spectre, guys like anyone around that guy is to get me to stop talking about shit like the Patreon, which, by the way, this guy, as I established last night, he's paying money to be a part of Nick's secret server in order to be there to shill his videos and content. So that segues nicely into this next part about the Patreon itself. Alright, this is the Patreon here. As you can see, you pay to get in, and you're able to talk to Nick personally. This isn't an open server like Ralph had, where anyone's allowed to come in, anyone's allowed to do whatever they want. Ralph just doesn't give a fuck what goes on, and he lets other people go ahead and monitor over it, if there's any monitoring over it at all. Instead, what this is you get to talk to Nick behind the scenes, in person-like, and he gets to talk to you in voice chat even, and all other kinds of fun stuff. Well, what other fun stuff could that possibly include? Well, as the title of the stream might indicate, yeah, they're going ahead, they're digging up information on people, they're actively coordinating ops, they're actively doxing the shit out of everyone that says anything negative about Vic Mignogna and Nick Rekieta. And there's a certain irony to all this. Like, I played Nick ranting about, the whole how Kraut was such a bad person for doing all this shit, basically, with very little difference between the two of them. And on top of that, but here's the thing. Here's the irony. They're doing this in the name of protecting a man's reputation, protecting a man's livelihood, protecting a man's money and fame, etc. A man who I believe is a pervert, and the evidence shows he's a pervert, frankly. Like, even if you won't want to say he's a sexual assaulter, the guy cheats on what's ostensibly his wife. The guy admitted to cheating on his wife over and over again at cons, slutting it up. That's enough for me to say the guy's a pervert. So I don't give a shit about Vic Mignogna. And I think that hinging the whole Weeb Wars on this one guy is a fucking mistake. A fucking ludicrous mistake from people who want to push this guy as a messiah when he's just a piece of shit. Like, it doesn't have to. He does, like, even if like 1/5 of the stuff that he's done is true, which again the guy has admitted to it. That's enough. And when you get down to it, when you go ahead and you engage in that kind of hero worship, that God complex, the thing about that is that it justifies anything in the name of this God that you've created, this idol that you worship. And here's the thing. You want proof? You want proof that this is what's going on? Okay. So we all know that Nick Rekieta has a bone to pick with Greg Duchette. And I think I've shown this screenshot before. But here it is, just all casual like. Someone's linking to Greg Duchette's thread. You can find all kinds of stuff about him there. You can find out about where he lives. You can find out about where... you can find out his profession, his history, his college photos. You can find out about his girlfriend, who has said absolutely nothing about this, but hey, you know what? Let's just have a Doxapalooza. We'll get everyone involved. And they go ahead and do all this other stuff, and there's a key purpose to this. It's not for the lols. It's not for jokes. No. Most times when people tell you when they're doing fucked up shit, it's for the lols on the internet, they're lying. Actually, no, I'm going to change that. 100% of the time, when they're doing fucked up shit, and they say it's for the lols, it's never for the lols. That's a cover. You know it. I know it. We're not 5 years old where jokes are like where you could just say it was a joke and get away with it. That's a kindergarten excuse. And Nick's right here. This is one of the important questions you got to ask yourself when I show the evidence, because maybe you disagree. Maybe you have a different outlook or an opinion than I do on this, and that's fine. But the question you should be asking yourself is, how aware is Nick of this going on? How much is he in the know? How is it that this guy is involved with this? How much does he encourage it? And how much is he are they actively participating in it? And that's the thing that people really need to understand here. Because again, if you guys are in the opinion that like, oh well, it's okay to tarnish these people's lives and stuff like that because I'm mad at them on the internet, then you don't have a case for defending Vic. There's no moral high ground. It's just basically two sides that are just mad at each other, and it's just a giant flame war. It's just a big mess with no real kind of substance to either side of the equation. And there's none I can think of because whatever one side of this equation, whether it's the I stand at Vic side or the kick Vic side, it's the same fucking thing. They're rampant with degenerates. They're rampant with lies and hypocrisy. They do all this gay op shit. They go ahead and they tear each other down. And it's the same old shit. This screenshot is also another one where someone's linking Monica Rial's thread on Kiwi Farms. And look here. Docs found here. Responding to another person's question. So there's no question about it. This isn't a case of like, I'm just sharing this thread because I want to show some information. Like, I'm not going to like shit on people that are going ahead and sharing, like, say, this is like the court case documents, which does contain personal information. That's not the same thing. This here is clearly a call to action. They want people to do things to certain people. And they have. They've reported people's accounts. They've gone ahead they've gone ahead and they've engaged as much smearing as possible as they can. And they've used this information to go ahead and say, hey, don't listen to these people. Like 50, like for example, I remember, for example, there's this really weird rumor that KF started that one of the people on the Kick Vic side, I think she's some side, I don't know how she's involved, but she's a woman of some sort. Apparently, she kissed two 17-year-old girls on a stage when she was 19 years old. And they're using that to call her a pedophile. Because, when I think pedophile, I think a 19-year-old kissing two 17-year-olds. And I don't approve of that behavior. I'm not saying it's okay. But to put someone with the label of a pedophile because they kissed a 17-year-old as part of a skit is retarded. But of course they lied, they changed the numbers and ages around, and they think it's okay. That's fine. And let's see, I got some other links here. Now this to me is one of the more telling ones. And I've shown this on Twitter as well. In fact, I showed most of these on Twitter. But don't worry, there's always more. There's a lot more. I got a lot more of these saved. Right here. Here's Nick. He's talking about Dominic Sky, some cosplayer who's like, she's, I don't know, she's a weirdo, but that's not the point here. And more importantly, as it relates to this, she's a critic of like the I Stand with Vic guys and part of the Kick Vic crowd. Nick saying, Dominic Sky got doxed at Kiwi Farms. Then she spurred out about it so hard, everyone's going to Kiwi Farms. Ha, 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 ha. And then someone asked for a link. I'm pretty sure someone provided it later. She didn't really get doxed, though. Also, the toddler with a Playboy was a bit creepy. Oh yeah, just gotta throw a little shade there. Because it can't just be, hey, it can't be a case of where, yeah, you're not, you're being unfair to Vic. Which, to a certain extent, they are. But they have to go ahead, they have to make the argument, oh, well, you should all be disqualified from saying anything because of this thing or that thing. And it's like, and again, this is all behind the scenes. They're not doing anything courageous or moral here. They're not exposing degeneracy or they're going or anything like that. They're not standing up for a moral thing that like, oh, well, we found some other bad things these people did. No, this is pure and simple retaliation. Pure, unadulterated retaliation, plain and simple. And the other funny thing about this here, as I took more of a nose to it, it's not just Nick laughing here. It's not like they're like, making allusions to the Boondock Saints movie over here. That's besides the point. It's like Nick here, he just brags about what they're doing in the open. Right here. Hey, Leviticus 1918. For anyone who doesn't know, that would be Joshua Moon of Kiwi Farms, the owner and operator of the forum. He's a degenerate, and he's also best of buddies with Nick Rekieta. Which, by the way, if you go to Nick Rekieta's Kiwi Farms thread, it's dox proof. That's right. He gets a doxing pass because he's friends with the admin. Now, how gay is that? You have a board that's dedicated to trolling the shit out of people. No fucks given. You can dox whoever you want. Any rules go. But Nick Rekieta gets a pass because he sucks the owner's dick. That is pussy behavior. That is just pussy behavior. It is just absolutely it's just why would you do that? Why would you give an exception? If anything goes, then yeah, Nick should also get the same treatment. And so Nick says, "Hey Leviticus, do you want to come on my show sometime this week and talk about this?" I wouldn't want people to get the wrong impression about kiwi farms. And he's responding to this degenerate, Renfamous, who's apparently on the I Stand With Dick hit list, even though all he's been all that Renfamous has been is just a cosplaying bot who has been trolling the shit out of dumb movements like Comicsgate and I Stand With Vic. But of course, because he's so good at it, he goes ahead, and of course, because he's so good at it, everyone hates him. So there you go. And it's because he's trolling Nick here. And he's talking about how Nick Rekieta frequents the board. And yeah, there's a lot of circumstantial evidence to suggest that Nick's going to Kiwi Farms, getting information there, and using it against people. Like things that people never revealed, never really made public on their bios, things that people had to dig for. And he's engaged in that. And on top of that, let's take a look at... And on top of that, the thing is... But what's this thing about Ty Beard, though? Because this is the funny thing. And this is something else that caught my eye while looking at this. Now, I think a lot of you have seen this clip before. If you've been paying attention, you have. But if you haven't, maybe this is new for you. I don't know. I'm going to play it, and then I'm going to comment on it.
Is not really doxing.
Okay, so for this clip, I apologize for the audio quality in advance. I'm going to raise the volume for a bit to play the clip, so that way you can hear it. And then I'll reduce it to normal levels.
Name is not really doxing. You know, really.
It's because of you joking about Kiwi Farms. That's why.
Oh no! I'm asking the farms for help. I'm asking them for help. Make these people miserable, please. I would consider it a personal favor.
I don't ask the internet to do things.
Huh. Isn't that something? Isn't that something indeed? Now there's Ty Beard fucking up and going ahead and saying, "Hey guys, why don't you go ahead and look at this guy's info?" Referring to Greg Doucette. And then after that happens, what does Nick say? Nick gives him an out. Nick says, "Oh, he was joking about Kiwi Farms. He wasn't serious." and then Ty Beard, being the brazen idiot that he is, he says, "No, I'm asking the farms for a favor." So no, Ty Beard was actually asking Kiwi Farms to go ahead and dox Greg Doucette. Which, oh look at that! It's linked back in Nick's Discord. And this is not like a one-time occurrence. This is the only time Greg Doucette's thread has been linked here in this way. This thread was linked on basically the same day that it came up. And it's like, oh, someone's saying it's out of context. By the way, if it's out of context, show the context. If I showed something out of context, you can prove me a liar by going ahead and showing the full context on your own stream and blowing me the fuck out. Good luck with that. And that's the thing. Nick is aware of this. He's encouraging the behavior, and it's for his personal benefit. That's just the reality. And yeah, he likes to do this, white hat, put on the white hat in public, take off the black hat, make a few edgy jokes. They're not too across the line here and there. He's basically hoodwinking he's basically convincing as many people as possible to be on his side, so he doesn't get fucked with. And so that way he can freely fuck with everyone else. It's why he's friends with Joshua Moon. It's why he's friends with Mr. Medicare. It's why he's friends with a whole host of people. And a whole host of people are on his side. And you can look at the chat right now. Look at the people who are showing up. People who have access to grind with me. People who just want to drag up old shit and try to use that against me. It's cute. It's really adorable. I gotta applaud the effort, but it doesn't, like, you can say that I am the worst piece of shit and piece of garbage in the world. It won't change the fact, because I'm not here to promote myself. I'm here to promote a message. I'm here to say that if you're going to be engaging in this kind of save the anime community, save this community, or save that community, you can't lose the moral high ground. You can't just do whatever you want. Because I got news for you. If you think that's okay, then the people telling you that the ends justify the means, they're not really interested in your interests. They're interested in something else. Like, the writing is clear on the wall. I don't know. If you've seen what happened with Gamergate, if you've seen what happened with Comicsgate, you'll know that there's always usually one Tardon at the top of the food chain that just wants to make money. And it's not just him. Like, his close friends and circle of friends, they also want to make money. Maybe some of them, like Milo, are just in it to get voters. Maybe some of them are just in it to, like, sell a bunch of merchandise for comic books that never get published, like Ethan Van Sciver. Maybe it's just Nick wanting to do whatever the fuck it is. He's like with in Nick's case, to like build his audience so he can make as much money off of super chats as possible. It's the same. It's all the same shit. It's all the same shit. And there's a few other screenshots I want to show. And it's going to be the usual, like, defenses for this. It's out of context. He was just kidding. He was just being sarcastic. This can all be... The fact of the matter is that they're doing the things that they're joking about. If they're doing the things that they're joking about, it's not sarcasm. It's not joking. They're not tongue-in-cheek here. They're seriously doing this. They are seriously hypocrites. And if you can't, then there's only two explanations if you can't see it, in my view. You can feel free to disagree. You can ask Keck if I doctored any of the screenshots. You can ask Keck to provide more screenshots to show if I'm showing out anything out of context. I'll be happy for you to come in my Discord and show me maybe I got something wrong. I've admitted I've been wrong in the past, and I'll happily do so again. But when it comes to this, you can't get around the fact that that this is the kind of conversations that go on here. Yeah, they dropped the study halfway because fuck us. Look, like, this is what Nick says. I don't think I can pay you to dox someone online, even though I think it would be hilarious. Some people interpret it as illegal. Did you all catch that? Like, did you all catch that, guys? The thing is, Nick's saying the only reason why he personally doesn't dox somebody is because it would be a bad look. It would appear to be illegal. Not, oh, well, you know what? I don't want to get involved with that. That's kind of wrong here. It kind of goes against our message here, with due process and a right to reputation, etc. No, the answer is, hey, it would look bad for me. I don't know, man. I just think that this whole thing here, like saying sometimes I think he means hate here. Sometimes I hate being a lawyer. I would much rather dox the ever-living shit out of stupid mental jests. Hate, not have, on his phone, obviously. Saying shit like this, and then actually linking and posting it to posting things to the Discord server. Yeah, it's very fucking hilarious that people want to just make this about me. But it's not surprising. It is not in the least bit surprising at all. I know what you guys are up to. I know what you guys. I know how you guys think. I know how this clique mentality works. And by the way, when I say cliques, people seem to get the wrong impression that there's like this kind of, as one person put it, a hierarchical structure by the implication of it. That you need someone from a top-down authority to encourage people to give an order to do something and to make them go ahead and do that specific thing. You don't need that. All you need to do is a little bit of encouragement, a little bit of incentivization, and make them have the idea and then convince them that the idea was theirs all along. Or, even better yet, have the idea actually be theirs. Be willing to have little lackeys that will do your dirty work for you without you even saying anything. Because, for people for these kinds of people that are willing to go dirty, play dirty like this, there's dozens of them. And they're all lurking in the corners, and they're all looking for an e-slip to follow, and they're all looking for one to latch onto. It's amazing. It is absolutely amazing that this continues to this day. and people still fall for it over and over again. And the only thing I want to do is point out that you're smarter than this. You're better than this, and you don't need to take it. You don't need to just say, you don't just need to go ahead and just like hide in the crowd. You don't need to go ahead and just say, oh, well, that's there's nothing we can do about it. No, you can speak up about it. People were saying Sargon was shit for years before Jim said anything about it. You didn't need Jim to go ahead and say, hey, Sargon's a piece of shit. You could have just done it yourselves. And the same thing as far as I'm concerned with any other E-celeb. And that's why I don't give up. That's why I don't stop saying the things I do. I don't need to make money off of this. I don't need money off this to promote this message. I don't need to go ahead and be popular or get clicks or get likes and retweets or have clout like a lot of y'all do. Like many of you do. And, all right. Okay. That's a good start into this. Well, actually, we already started with the first episode, but I'm going to do more. I'm going to do these more frequently. I'm going to do this until this ride ends. And my prediction as to when it will end, I'm going to say that, and you can hang me on this one, I really don't give a shit. I'm going to say the TCPAs that are being filed in court, they're all going to fail because they're being handled by an incompetent idiot named Ty Beard. And Ty Beard's really the linchpin in this whole scheme, this whole thing that Nick's promoting, giving you false hope. If you've done any research into Ty Beard, you know that he's not going to be good for this case. And that'll be the subject of the next stream. Ty Beard's greatest hits. And I'll cover all the stupid shit he's done throughout this case. And if Ty Beard wants to and Ty Beard's more than welcome to make a personal armory request from the farms to do his personal bidding. And by the way, I think the worst part about that isn't necessarily the doxing itself, but the fact that Ty Beard has on multiple occasions asked Anons to do the work of paralegals so he can save a few bucks as he pockets more of the hundreds of thousands of dollars in his own personal bank. All right, I did say I'd play the rest of this clip, but you know what? I'm going to save it for another time. I think that this wraps things up. So yeah, the next stream will be tomorrow at 7 p.m. I hope you'll remember that time. I hope all y'all who came up, even my two biggest fans in chat, by the way. And yeah, have a good night, folks.